Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
We've got our coffee or our
Yeah,
tea. What do
I'm
you have
ready.
there? What do you have there?
So, like the cup itself, or what's in it?
You tell me whatever you want.
Okay, so in the cup it's like a Vietnamese like drip coffee situation. So it's like called Copper Cow coffee.
Ooh.
I'm not they don't support me in any way except caffeinated. Um but it's great for people, it's great for me because I don't drink that much coffee.
Mm,
It's not even like a health thing. I literally just I sometimes I can barely finish a cup. I just don't drink that much.
yeah.
My sister thinks I'm crazy. So having a coffee machine is just too much work for the amount of coffee that I'm actually consuming in a
Sure.
day. And I
Yes.
had like a tiny little one. It was like a 3 cup coffee like thing. And I was like, that's too much. I can't drink that. Meanwhile, my sister's looking at me and she's just like, that's one serving. What are you talking about? So I got those because they literally brew like individual cups of coffee, which is perfect for me because I'm like, I only need the one.
Yes.
So yeah, so it's like it's more expensive than just getting like beans. But
Yes.
at the same time, I'm just like, yeah, but it's less stress for me because I can literally just throw them away. They're
Yeah.
biodegradable, they're
Yeah.
environmentally friendly. I'm just like, I'm not playing games with this. And this is my favorite Asian drama mug. I don't know if you can see.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So
Oh, how
this
fun is
is for this
that?
for my favorite one. One of my favorites.
Oh
It's
boy.
called The Rise of Phoenixes. It broke my heart, but them as a couple,
Yeah.
OTP. They're like the
You.
best things ever. And he is like one of my favorite like male characters on screen, period. He's incredible. He's
Oh,
a lot of drama, but he's incredible. So I decided to make a mug for every now and then when I'm just like, you know what? I have a little I think my friend made this for me because she knew. And she was just
oh.
like, which pictures do you want to use? And she was like, theoretically, if you were hypothetically making a mug, which ones? And I said, okay. And these are the ones I was like, I want these two. And she said,
No.
perfect. So and then I think it was either Christmas or my birthday.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lacey. She got me this. And I looked at it and I was just like, this is amazing. So
I
every now
love
and
it.
then I have like she knows I have a problem. So but like this is one of those Asian dramas. It was like I think it was like 70 episodes long. Like it was super long, but it's
Whoa.
only the one season, so it's okay.
Oh
So
wow.
it's like you got all 3 seasons in one, and it was like, okay, fine, we're good. We're just living our lives now. It's so good. I still go back and watch it. Like it
What's
used to
the
be on
name of
Netflix.
it? Tell me again.
It's called The Rise of Phoenixes. It used to be on Netflix. It's on YouTube now.
Oh,
You can find it on
YouTube.
YouTube.
Oh,
Fine, you know.
what's
And you just like it's there with these subtitles and everything. And it's like
that?
this long, sweeping drama about like this exiled prince that he comes back, his father finally allows him to return home, but he's seeking revenge. And there's like a mystery about a lost like child of a previous not empire, a previous
Dynasty?
dynasty,
Oh, oh.
a child of a previous dynasty that everybody's assuming is dead, but they're like stirring up trouble, and you're like, oh, but are they really dead? Is there one left over? And it's like a whole situation, and there's like all this family drama. Like, it's so good.
Oh, how fun!
It's
Oh,
so
I
good.
love it. Oh my
Oh,
gosh, I love it.
I love Asian dramas. I don't know if you noticed. I love Asian dramas. I love
I'm
Asian dramas. I love
I'm loving
Bollywood. That is my escapism. I mean, I swear to God, like every time
it.
I'm just like, I don't have the energy for any of this, I literally throw on I'm throwing on some Shah Rukh Khan. I'm throwing on
Yeah.
some like some Chen Khan. I'm like, guys, take me away with that
Take
good
me
hair.
away.
I can't handle it.
Yes.
Too
Yes.
much.
Okay, I loved all of that.
Sorry.
You guys no! I love this. Okay, so if you guys couldn't I was late already. And then she and I just started talking, and I was like, "Yeah, we should probably go live," because she's like the easiest person to talk to ever. If you hadn't figured that out already. By the
Yeah,
way, I'm gonna. It's Addy. How do you say your last name? Because I don't want to say it wrong.
it's DuLac.
DuLac. Okay, Addy DuLac, and she's joining us today, and she's amazing, and I love her already. I'm so excited. We're gonna have the most fun. I mean, we're already I just want to see who all is here. We've got a ton of friends this morning. We've got Terry. Hello. Hello, Sock. Good afternoon, Dee. Good morning, Judy. Hey, Paige. Yeah, happy Friday.
Yeah.
Happy
Oh my
Friday.
God.
My 8-year-old is all about the Minecraft movie, which comes out in 2 weeks, and he is
Oh wow.
very mad. He is very mad that it is not coming out today because we keep telling him only movies come out on Fridays. And so
Yeah.
he's like, "Mommy, what did I tell you? I told you Minecraft was today." I said, "Well, you don't decide when the Minecraft movie comes out."
Yeah.
We talked about that like 2 hours this morning. So that's
Oh my
why
God. Because obviously now you're a liar, right? Because obviously,
exactly.
like,
He said that. He goes, "Mommy, what did you tell me on Wednesday? What did you say?" I was like, "I said that it was coming out on a Friday."
yeah. And he's like, "Is it out on the Friday? Is it? Is it? Is it?" And you're like, "Okay, calm down."
We got the calendar out. We're like,
Yeah.
"See?" He's not listening.
That's how my nephews are. They're just like, you literally said on Saturday at 2 p.m. as the crow flew overhead that she would be here. And that crow came by and she is not here. So clearly one of you are liars. And I'm not trusting you for anything. And I'm just like, Jesus, like I didn't realize it was a test. And they're like,
my son.
they're
He
so
got out
mad.
of the van. Same thing. He was just like, "Mommy, you said bye." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah.
I'm going to be in
Yeah.
big trouble this afternoon.
You know? Why did you control the movie industry?
I keep forgetting to do that.
You know, it's like you don't even care anymore. It's like, Jesus, okay, God.
I might just go to the theater with him and be like, "Please, does anyone have anything?
Somebody.
Even a trailer, anything?" Yes.
God.
Anyway, good morning, Stacy. As you can see, we're off the hook today.
Right.
Molly, good morning. Reading The Ever King. Ooh, I have heard some good things. Happy Friday. Hello, Amina. And hello, everybody. Sock says, "I'm flobbing around." Flobbing. There's a new one. Hoping to get up the energy to do things. Yeah, I'm with you. Addie's with you too.
I feel like that energy never actually manifests with me sometimes. Ever.
Happy Friday. Terry says, "I have started yesterday the matrimonial advertisement by Mimi Matthews." Ooh, and I love it. Good morning, Nicole. Sock says, "This weekend," I love that they basically already did everything that I would be like, "What are we reading? What are we doing?" And they're just like, "We're going to go. We're just going to do it without you." Sock says, "This weekend I'll be reading Shadow Rider by Christine Feehan, Up All Night with a Good Duke, and Deep End, Allie Hazelwood." Oh my gosh, Sock, I need to know all about how you feel about those.
Allie Hazelwood is so amazing.
I know. I need to read her. There's a novella called Two Can Play that I've had it forever. I need to grab it. I need to go ahead and just listen.
Yeah.
Paige says, I'm trying to finish up Up All Night with a Good Duke, but I'm in a bit of a reading slump at the moment. I kind of felt that way too, Paige, as I was reading that. So we'll be talking about it on Sunday during our book club. Would a nap help? A nap always helps. Christina says, "I'm reading Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins. A nap would help, and a weekend without any chores." Yes. Yeah. Wait, what? Okay, I knew I was missing something. Okay, is that his name?
Yeah, that's the character's name, Ningyi.
Ningyi. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, you've got some fans that.
Oh
boy. Happy Friday. Silly says, "Barkity bark. Let's talk books." Yes. Good morning, everyone. Bollywood. Oh. Oh, Addy. Oh my gosh, you're my favorite. Good morning. Hello, Crystal. Hey, I didn't know you were here. That's great. Children are going to hold you to your promise. It's true. It's true.
Like by your feet. Like by everything.
But they only listen to half of what you said. Like I said April 4th.
Right. They grab you. They grab what you say. They're like, and if God forbid, if April 4th is not a Friday, then they're just like,
I know.
So you're a liar twice? They're like, you don't even know what anything means. Like,
you know. Friday. That's all he heard.
Just give me a minute. Jeez. They're like, no.
I know. Good morning, Kristen. Oh, they're talking back to Silly. Barkity bark bark. Silly is a dog. He's our mascot. Ooh, The Last Duchess by
That
Eloisa
one was
James.
good.
I want to read that. Did you read it?
Oh
You
yeah,
liked it?
I love Eloisa James.
I do too.
But yeah, My Last Duchess. That one was. It was so. It's very like it's kind of different, but it's very. I like it because I don't know if there are any like spoilers. I don't know if you care, but it's about the so it's the Lindau Castle, like all those guys. So it's all these sons, right? And there's the father who has like 12 children from like three individual marriages that south like Sherman for a reason. And then you have so My Last Duchess is literally about the father, but it's like
Mm,
before all of them are like grown. So it's like him meeting his literally the one who's his wife when you're
yes.
talking about the sons, when you're
Yes.
meeting the children and them falling in
Yes.
love. So it's
Uh,
like I'm just like, this is amazing. I love it.
Fun. Yeah, I love the covers and the step backs and she's got the footage from that series, The Wilds of Lindo Castle. She's got
Mhm.
that on her Instagram. So you can see the models like
Yeah,
doing the poses
I've
and
seen those. I was just like,
yeah.
I like it models. Like, wait, I have questions.
I know. I know.
Where's my
So
dog?
good. So good. So good. Good morning and happy spring. Yeah, right?
Oh God, yes,
It's cold.
that
Or no,
happened
where are
yesterday.
you? Where are you abouts?
I'm in Florida.
Okay, so it's probably warm.
It's warm-ish. It's. Let me just put it this way. It's probably warmer than the rest of the country. It's
Right.
just it's a little right now. It's in the weird period where it's trying to think about what it's doing with its life and its choices, like weather-wise. So it's so right now it's like really cold in the morning. Like I think a couple of days ago when I woke up, it was like 43 degrees, and I was just like, okay. But then the high for the day was like 83.
Oh my.
So yeah, there's like a journey.
It's a
So
journey.
like Florida doesn't have normal seasons. I think right now is just layering season. Because you
Mm.
could start off the day with a pea coat, depending on how
Mm.
early you wake up, and then you can
Mm.
end the day in like a tank top. So you don't know.
What are you doing?
Just
Layering
layers. You'll be fine.
layering is the
Yeah, you
name
just
of the
like strip
game.
during the day. You'll be fine.
Exactly. Exactly. I love it. I love Kay Simmons. She's always pause to hydrate, snack. Tell us what it was because we nosy. Check laundry, take meds, stretch, show some love to the like button. Make sure you sub and ring that bell so you hopefully get notified. You are so cute. You are so cute. Hey, kid, learn to read a calendar and then I won't have to lie to you anymore. Right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Ajatu. Hope you're doing well. Kristen says, I like that they're older and it's not some old dude looking for a 12-year-old to marry to raise his kids, and there's a divorce. Truly. Truly. And the FMC is a real mom. I love it. Yes.
She is.
Mhm.
She's
We're talking
amazing.
about the American
My
Duchess.
Last Duchess.
Last Duchess. I always want
Mhm.
to say American Duchess because I know Eloisa James did My American Duchess. I always get
Yeah,
those.
she's a lot of duchesses, and I'm like, girl, go for it.
Yes.
Absolutely. You're
Yes.
right.
Spring, we just had a snowstorm here in Wisconsin 2 days ago. Oh, Christina.
There's lies everywhere.
Just everywhere. All these lies. Friday filled with lies.
You know.
Sock.
Uh,
You were missing the other day. Silly noticed. Oh, silly missed sock. I love that people are missing other people.
oh,
Dentist. Oh, errands. We had a storm for the last 3 days. I won't believe it is spring until I see the robin. Yes. There you
what's
go.
the robin?
Like robins, I think.
Oh, okay. I thought it
Probably
was
not.
like the groundhog, but like different and more reliable. I
Or
didn't know.
Robin the singer with a Y.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, yeah. Anyway. Hi,
exactly.
Robins. Hi, other Christina. Okay. Well, I think we should talk about you. I want to learn
Let's
everything
do
there
it.
is to know about you. I'm so excited. Um, we talked a little bit about some of the questions and topics we would talk about, and I'm really excited. So, why don't we just start, or we can start wherever you want, or we can start with this question: what made you want to be an author?
What made me want to be an author? I so low-key, I kind of have always had like control issues. So when, right? So
Right.
it starts off with I've always loved watching movies, but I always had problems with some endings,
Mm.
especially if they're romantic and they didn't end happily. Like I didn't realize that this was a thing for me. It's been a thing for me since I was 8 years old. So like I was young when I watched, oh, it was City of Angels. I watched that.
Mm, mm,
And I
mm,
was
mm.
just like, what do you mean? Spoiler alert, what do you mean she dies at the end? This is stupid.
I
So
hated that ending. I was
hated
like,
it.
just look where you're going on that bike, girl. Don't be looking at
I'm like, how are you a grown woman riding a bike and you're not looking where you're riding? I'm like, are you 4 years old? So she gets hit. So like that happens, and I'm just like, this is lame. So I decided to write my own little fan fiction of like a different angel who didn't fall in love with a woman who doesn't know how to ride a bike in traffic. And so it started there. And then in middle school, we had to watch The Patriot with Mel Gibson, and Heath Ledger died. And I was just like, that's not happening in my story. So I literally wrote a different fan fiction about so I've just been writing fan fiction. And I was like, no, I need to fix this because y'all clearly don't know how to end these stories properly.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
I'm like, death is coming for everybody. I don't know why you gotta speed it up and like make it a problem for everybody now. So I was just like, okay. So that was how it began. I just wanted to fix these stories that these writers and directors clearly didn't know. Yeah, Elaine, right? So, so
Right.
right. So I mean, like, not everybody's getting hit on a bike, and she wasn't even on the sidewalk. She was literally in the middle of. I can't. Okay, whatever.
I
Moving on.
know.
So,
I need that fan fiction, I think, because that
right.
movie made me so angry.
Like ridiculous. I'm like, anyway, moving along. So
Sorry. Yes.
so it started off with that. So I started off with fan fiction, and after a while, there was one fan fiction I started, and it was just I had brought in so many original characters, and I was writing about so many people that had nothing to do with the original story that it was based on, that I realized like if I just changed the names of two characters, I had literally a whole different thing, which is a lot of times what happens with fan fiction. Like you start off like talking about like the characters in there, and then you're like, what if I have this other person? And what if I like see? So you just bring in all these other people, and then all of a sudden you're just like, oh, I can just rename these two characters, and all of a sudden it's different.
Yes.
And so I started off with that, and then came the sort of leap of like, why don't you try to publish this? And I was just like, I mean, the worst they can. My mom always told me, she was like, you could like, the worst you could just ask, because the worst case scenario is they say no, and then the answer is no, and that's fine. But you should always let others be the one to tell you no. You should not, because if you don't try, then you just said no to yourself, and now you're really not going anywhere. There's no chance of you going anywhere because you already told yourself no. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let them say no. So it's sort of like, asking forgiveness rather than begging permission. I'm just like, I'm gonna just go for it. And if there's no sign that says Addy, stop, I'll just keep going. That's the idea.
I love it. Oh my
So
God,
I
I
went with
love it.
that, and I just I just did it, and
Amazing.
it worked out more or less. So working
Mhm.
out so far. So far so good. Right?
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. So take us through your journey to publishing your first book then. I know you just started, but I'd love to hear
Yeah.
about it.
Just 2023. That was the first book, which is crazy. So that one was another one that sort of started with so this is yes, that was it. My baby. My first
It's
ugly baby.
so gorgeous. This is one
Yes.
of the most beautiful covers I think I've ever seen.
It was one
Gorgeous.
of those things where, just quick segue. So funnily enough, like I
Please.
asked them for like a different color for her dress, based on like a picture that has like a portrait that's painted of her like in the book. But then they gave me this one, and I looked at it, and I'm a Virgo, so normally if I don't get things exactly how I want them, I'm gonna say something. But they gave me this cover and I looked at it and I said, you know what, I'm just going to shut up. It's good. I like it. Like, it's pretty, is it what I asked for? No. Is it better than what I asked for? Yes. So I'm just like, whatever. So I just left it alone. It was perfect. I loved it.
Mm-hmm,
And it's such a beautiful shade of purple. Like they got the correct shade of purple. She looks regal. Anyway, so for this one was sort of this was a kind of crazy experience because it's not normal. It's not what normally happens. I finished this manuscript. I had like a little like sprint writing club that I was doing. I finished it. I put it through some like edits and re-edits and I submitted it. There was one night where I was like, okay, and I compiled my list of my publishers that would that were accepting manuscripts that didn't require you to have an agent because I don't have an agent. And then I said, okay, and then I just went through the process and I just started submitting the one, like whichever ones it ended up being like maybe like 4 or 5. And I ended up getting this one from Entangled. I got a response like the next day, which was very weird. But the editor, Jen, they were amazing. And they knew that I was a new author and that I had no idea what the hell I was doing. They were so nice. Like they were perfect in the sense of like they knew to be like firm with me, but also like give me information, like give me as much information as I could sort of handle in one sitting. But they were also very clear, like, if you have more questions, please ask me some questions. And I was like, got it. And so I had to sort of kick myself constantly, like, ask the questions. Like, why are you trying to act? Like, there's a whole situation. So, but they really worked with me to get me to the point where I got a contract. And then I finally got the contract and I was just like, oh my God. And then gave half my family a heart attack because I called them like sobbing like a crazy person and they were just like, duh. And I was like, no, not duh. You don't understand. This is a big deal. So then after that, it was a race to sort of catch up the first 3 or 4 chapters, like all the rest of the manuscript with the first 3 or 4 chapters, because I had about like, I think it was like 2 or 3 months to sort of restructure and rewrite the rest of the book and get it clean and get it sorted out. So I have like a whole team starting with the editor, Jen. So that was kind of like crazy, but when it was done, it was sort of amazing, you know. Yeah. So how was that?
I love it. I love it. You've got so many fun, the purplish covers. I'm going to take that question in a minute, Wyoming. I love that. Gorgeous. Yeah. Prince would approve.
He would. He would.
I love it. He would. Everything about that cover is gorgeous. I love the cover. Love the purple. Truly. Truly. I love it. So fun. Okay. So we've talked a little bit about this one, but obviously we got to talk about the newer release. I'm really excited. Tell us all about Miss Thornfield's Daring Bargain.
So Miss Thornfield, it's like plotting raccoon.
I love it.
So Miss Thornfield's Daring Bargain is the, as you can see on the cover, is the first of a trilogy that is being released by Dragon Bleed this year. So all 3 books are coming out this year. No waiting. Oh yeah.
Oh, we love that. We love no waiting.
Like every time I tell readers this, they're just like, that's amazing. I hate waiting. And I'm looking at them and I was like, do you understand how I nearly died? Like trying to write these 3 books in 1 year? You're crazy. But anyway, so irrelevant. You know, I'm just here to serve, right? So it's the first in what I called my Troublemakers trilogy.
Yes.
Because none of the main characters in these books have any behavior. Or rather they're sort of, like in Pirates of the Caribbean where they're like, it's more like guidelines, not so much rules, society rule.
Mm.
That's kind of how they see it. They're like, if it makes sense, I'm gonna do it, but if it doesn't make any sense, I'm gonna do me. So that's how
I
they
love it.
approach it. So Ada, who's our main character, she's half Chinese, half Anglo-British. And she is just trying to have a good time with her friends. It's the London season. She's super excited. And her brother sort of goes missing at the beginning of it. And it's kind of terrifying for her because their parents are dead. It's kind of just her and her brother. He is her guardian. It's them. He's been raising her since she's been like 15 years old when their parents died. And they're really close. So when her brother goes missing, it's like, what is going on? So it's sort of a scramble for her to try to figure out what happened, like who's kidnapping people off the streets in London, like weird. And like who's like trying to get an idea of like how much danger is she in? Like, is it just him? Are they coming for her? Like, what's the situation? And she has her two friends, Elodia and Regina, who are sort of refusing to leave her by herself. They're like, no, whatever's happening, whatever's going down, we're doing this together. So they just sort of close ranks around her and they're like, where are you guys at? Where are you coming from? And so enter our male lead, Basil. Not Basil, Basil.
Basil, okay.
So it's one of those things, and this is where the nerd is going to come out a little bit. So it's not really a thing of like, oh, he's named after a herb. Basil is literally Greek from the Greek of, I think it's Basilius, which is king. It means king. It's a Greek. That's what it means. Basil is the etymology is Greek. So
I'm learning
that's why it's called. So it's like basilica, like it's not basilica, right?
Yeah.
So so it's Basil. It's Basil along those lines.
Okay.
So the geek is back in her box now. So it's Basil. So Basil is one of Richard. Richard has two best friends, and Basil is one of them. And his father, he is the second son of a viscount. Okay. And he met Richard and their other friend Leo, in school. And they've been best friends ever since. And he was going to meet Richard for like a hangout because he's in town to meet his fiancée, who his father has been arranging for him at his request. And he's going to meet his friend Richard, and he sees Richard get snatched. And so he's just sort of like, what the hell is going on? And he's trying to piece together himself, like, what is going on with Richard. Yeah, once he figures that part out, he realizes that the next person who's going to be, they are going to be coming after Ada, if they haven't reached it already. Because I'm not going to tell you who it is, but he figures out who is sort of behind it. And so he goes after, so he immediately rushes to Ada and he's just like, has this person contacted you? And she's like, yeah, what's the problem? And he's just like, he's crazy and you can't be talking to this man. He's not helping you.
Right.
And so then that's when all of them realize, oh crap, we need a plan, because they have an uncle, but the uncle's also a problem. And so they're like, well, you can't end up with your uncle, because if you end up with your uncle, you're never going to get Richard back. You're never going to get your brother back, because the uncle doesn't like Richard. He doesn't like either of them. Oh. And so he's just so they are trying to figure out how to protect Ada from the first idiot's machinations, and then how to protect her from her uncle, who isn't going to help.
Right.
And so they come up with a daring bargain, which is that she and Basil are going to run to Gretna Green, get married right quick, because it's literally 2 years before they pass the law that means you have to stay in like Scotland it's like a few years or so before they passed like an updated law to that where you have to stay in Scotland for 2 weeks before you can come back. You can't just go there and do like night jaunts anymore. But that's the situation
I
with
didn't
this one.
even know. Oh my
Because I
god.
have to do research on this sort of thing. Like I'm like, are they still? I'm like, I knew at some point they changed it, but I was like, can they still do Gretna Green runs in 1851 or 1852 when this book is set? And they're just like, I was like, they can. So it's like, so they go and they do their thing. And the idea is they're going to be married just long enough for them to get Richard. And then once
Oh.
Richard is safe, once her brother's safe and they have an idea of what's going on, they will
Yes.
get their marriage annulled.
Oh.
Because it's literally just a means to an end to get her safe, but also to get access to her dowry, get access to like all these things that they can't do without her, on any other way.
Yeah.
So that's the plan. And it's a good plan, except feelings happen. And then everything it's a decent plan. Of course, Basil is sort of like Ada and her friends come up with the plan, and Basil is sort of like, so I hear you, but like I'm like Basil's like, I'm engaged, Loki. Like, I don't know if you know this, but like I'm sort of like I'm like this close to being engaged. So like I can't just like elope with somebody else. Like
wait a minute. Basil is almost engaged.
Basil is in the whole reason Basil is in London is to meet the fiancée that his father has been arranging for him.
What?
And then he gets there, his friend gets kidnapped, and he ends up like sort of shanghaied into this whole like Gretna Green elopement situation. And so the whole time he's like, which is where his family and convictions come in, because he's like, I'm doing this for my friend. I'm never not going to do this for my friend. My friend has had my back. I'm never going to not protect his sister. Like he knows that she's the nearest, dearest thing to him. It's like Darcy and Georgiana. Like nothing's going, like there's like, if anybody wants to get in good with Darcy, they need to make sure that Georgiana's set, right?
Yes.
So he's like, make sure that Ada's okay, because if Richard comes back and he finds out that his sister also fell into problems, he's not going to be best pleased. So the idea, so he does it, and he's like, I would do it, but at the same time, he's like, my dad is going to kill me. My dad is going to string me up by my ankles when he finds out that I did this. So,
oh man.
So it's so the minute so it's just drama unfolding one after the other. So of course his family is not happy with this. Nobody's happy with this. And it's just sort of them dealing with the sort of repercussions of their actions, because it's one of those situations where you're trying to figure out whether the cure was worse than the illness, right?
Right.
Because you did some stuff, and it's like, and you solved one problem, but you might have created like 5 more. But on but the whole Gretna Green thing, that scene was kind of funny because she's there with her 2 friends, and they're just like, just to give you an idea of the troublemaking. So like they decide, so they sort of voluntold Basil for this elopement thing, and they finally sort of get him to sort of begrudgingly sort of be like, okay, I guess, because I think he also he sort of realizes like that they're gonna tie him up and take him anyway if he doesn't agree, like. Because they're just like, no, you don't understand. She needs to get married, like, right now. Like, this is not a negotiation. Like, could you just, like, they just sort of hold his hand and sign the dotted line and, like, get him over there. And, but all of her friends come, because both of them are like, I understand that, like, they're like, because they realize that Ada knows him and she trusts him, but they're like, yeah, but we don't. We don't know who you are. And if you try anything, you will get jumped by 3 chicks, okay? Not just 1, 3. So 2 of them are like, these 2 unmarried girls are like the chaperones, and they're like, we're coming on the trip too. So they're like lying to family. They like steal a carriage. They get to like and they just take off.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Needless to say, when they get back to London, their family is just like, "Are you absolutely crazy?" It's like Molly Weasley. She's like, "No notes, cargo, bed's not, bed's empty. You could have died," you know. So that's
I
that's
love
what's
it.
going on. Yeah, so that's just book one. That's just book one shenanigans going on.
I
And of
love
course,
it.
like, it's the flame line. So there's plenty of, sex and all the rest of it. But they just gotta sort out the first problem, which is, the kidnapping.
Right.
all,
Right.
all that stuff, right? They gotta
There's
figure
no
that
time
out.
for
They
spice
gotta figure
yet.
that out.
Too
Yeah.
funny. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. I love this comment. Misbehaving, marvelous misses.
Oh, girl, alliteration. I love it.
We love it. We love it. And I love Second Son stories, says Terry. I love that you know the historical accuracy for your settings, right? And talking about like, I had no idea that Gretna Green changed the law at some point.
It
That's
wasn't
so
Gretna
neat to
Green,
me.
it was England. So England, so originally, yeah. So originally, so the Gretna Green rule, I think it was England, yeah, or it could have been Scotland. One of them changed the rule where, because they were seeing like all these couples, and
Yeah.
the rich people were losing track of their money, and their heiresses were being like run amok by these men, just whisking
Right.
them away to Gretna Green. And
Yes.
so they came up with they came up with an amendment to the law. So it's like you can still get married at Gretna Green, but if you
Mm.
if you want your marriage to be considered legal the way it was before, you have to be a resident of Scotland for at least 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Mhm. They were
That's
like,
amazing.
and of course everybody's there like literally just trying to escape their parents. So like the idea, so like if your parents come snatch you up and bring you back before the 2 weeks are over, you were never married. It's no longer considered legal. Whereas before, as long as two deeds got sorted out, like you were, if you catch my drift, like you were married, right? But
Gotcha.
if not, you had a problem. So
Yes.
I had to make sure there was all kinds of like research sort of rabbit holes I ended up stuck in. Like I knew they had the railroad, and I thought, oh, this is going to be easy because they can just take the train. And then I stopped and I said, wait, where were the train lines? Because half the country didn't have like trains yet. So they didn't have like the railroads weren't built like all over the country like they are now. So then I was just sitting
Oh.
there like, oh God. So where's the closest, where like at that point, like where did the train lines end? And I managed to sort of cobble some stuff together and be like, so it's like half train, half carriage, half like sort some
Yeah.
stuff out. And that was another wild thing. It was just all kinds of drama.
I
All
love
kinds of,
it.
yeah.
I love it. I love what Terry says. Those wicked feelings that always got in the way. I know. And I love
Should I
I
need this
need
now?
this now, says Ijatu. It was released today. You're gonna love it.
Yeah,
Yay!
yeah.
It says skipping around Scotland, avoiding parents is at least a trilogy right there. Just Googled it. The law changed in 1856, and in 1940, the anvil weddings were outlawed. I
Yep,
never knew that. I didn't either, Dee. Oh my gosh. We're all learning this morning. I love it.
right?
I love it. That is so crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so cool. So how did you get the idea to write this?
So I came up with, I think it was just an idea of, oh God, I'm trying to think. I think I just wanted to write a story. It was like three best friends, and I was
Yeah.
trying to do like a best friends like sort of trilogy thing. And I don't know. I think it was the idea of like get and loser, we're going to Scotland kind of
Mm,
idea. And
yeah.
then I was just thinking, I was like, but what if somebody literally did come in and show up to someone and they were like, get and loser, we're going to Scotland, which is kind of what Ada says to Mazel at some point in time, more or less. Like, it was just this weird, and then I thought, okay, but like what with the circumstance, and then it just sort of like built. I literally have no idea. It just sort of, the plot bunny just came to me, and it said bloop, and I don't even remember like how it came to me, but then it just sort of evolved, and it was like, okay, so they're three friends,
Yes.
and then it was like it wasn't even supposed to be these three guy friends weren't even supposed to be the three male leads when I started. And then it just sort of ended up happening and I was like, oh damn.
I love
Okay.
it.
So that I guess they're doing that, and then they ended up all being friends, and I was like, that was also weird. Didn't realize that was gonna happen. I was like, this is. It was very strange. The only people who were supposed to be like knowing each other like since childhood were the girls, and then it
Okay.
just sort of evolved after that, and I was going, okay, well, I mean, we're just gonna stick with it, I guess. And then I also had an idea, but it was like, yeah. So it's sort of they
That's
all came
fun.
to me together at the same time. And then I
Yeah.
said, okay, well, I know this girl's story, and I knew Ada and Basil were gonna be, there was gonna be like a whole thing, like your brother gets kidnapped, like what are you gonna do? Marriage of convenience. Then and then I was trying to figure out like, well, what am I gonna do with the rest of them? And then
Yes.
so I ended up with like Regina, who's in an arranged marriage. She's in a marriage by contract. And
Oh.
which her parents sorted out when she was like, I think she was like 13 years old. Her dad like arranged a contract for her, and so there's a sort of, that's her sort of situation for her book. And then Elodia is sort of, this is all blurbs on the back of the book, so I'm not really giving away spoilers per se. like, like book comes out, you'll see it. It's not that big of a deal. But
Okay.
she's been, and honest to God, if you read the first book, you're probably gonna be like, yeah, I see it here. She's been in love with Richard since she first met him.
Oh.
So it's a love at first sight. So we have marriage of convenience, arranged marriage, love at first sight. That's the idea. Of course, Richard is like, you like all the men are sort of like, wait, what? I thought, I thought we were doing something else.
They're all oblivious.
Yeah, they're like, I thought we were going over here. And they're just like, no. And also you're already in this other location, by the way, in case you didn't notice. And then they're just like, wait, what? So there's a lot of that.
When are Regina and Ellie's stories coming out? Just out of
So
curiosity.
Regina comes out June 19th.
Okay. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Okay. Cool. Nice.
Ellie comes out September 19th. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. You hear that, guys? You hear that? I know. Oh my gosh,
Super
I'm so
excited.
excited.
I'm super excited.
So
So
it's
yeah.
so fun. So fun. So who are your greatest influences, would you say? I know we talked about you love Eloisa James. I don't know if she
I do.
counts, but
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I do, although I realized so my problem is I realized very quickly that there are things that Eloisa James can get away with that I can't. because Eloisa James is Eloisa James and she's been doing this for a minute, whereas I just showed up and they're just like, no. And I'm just like, okay.
Right.
But so I love, so my favorite, so it's Eloisa James and I think Lisa, is it Kleypas?
Kleypas? Yes.
Yeah.
We love her.
SP, sorry if that's not how you say her name, but her last name. I know the first name, it's the last name is a little tricky. But
Right.
so both of them, because I've been reading, so like I read the Bridgerton series when I was in high school.
Oh.
I think they said the last book came out in like 2000.
Oh no.
But so I was like just, I think the last Bridgerton book came out in 2007. So that was on the way to the wedding. So I was in high school for the majority of like all the other books coming out. And I liked them. And then I started reading Lisa Kleypas and I was like, this is different. And I read The Wallflowers and I was smitten. Yes. So I could say that The Wallflowers are definitely a sort of launch for sorry if you heard like a weird like phone ringing situation.
Oh no, your sound cut out for just a second, but you're good. You're perfectly fine.
Okay, cool. So I was trying to do my own version of The Wallflowers. Instead, I was gonna be I was like, yeah, but they were wallflowers, but they were also causing trouble. And or at least two of them were. And in mine, I'm like, yeah, no, all of them are causing trouble. So that's kind of like, so I guess like that was where the idea came from. But so I read the Wallflowers and I really my favorite one was definitely Marcus and Lillian.
Oh, It Happened One Autumn. Yes.
It Happened One Autumn. I
Yes.
was like, the whole time I was reading, I was like, when these two get together, it's going to be a problem. And then I got to it, and I just loved the way she was just poking him constantly. Just like, get over yourself. Get over yourself. Yes. And he was just there like, if you don't stop poking me, I swear to God, right? And I just loved it. I loved them. And then after that, it was the Hathaways, and then it was the Ravenels, and like all the good stuff. But I love the friendships that she and the bonding in the Lisa Kleypas ones. Like, I loved that dynamic. And I guess with Julia, I kind of loved the family dynamic that you get. It's always like groups of families. With Lisa, it's sort of a combination of like families and like found family, and sort of blending that. But I also liked like the depth of emotion that you always got in a Lisa Kleypas book. There was always some drama. There's always some like something going on that had you like in tears, or like just like, oh my God, like going on in a Lisa Kleypas book. And then with Eloisa, when I read her Desperate Duchess series, what I found so like unique and like I really, really enjoyed it was the way she sort of started subsequent books. Like you started meeting the characters and getting POVs for those characters in previous books, so that by the time like their story had already started. And it wasn't, and so by the time you meet their characters like in their book, it whetted you already knew them, and your appetite was already whetted, and you were already like, let's do this. Like, when is their book?
Like the Duke of VA?
Yeah.
I mean,
him?
The way she did that?
He's my favorite. He's, honest to God, like, I love him. He's like my favorite one. But I loved the way, but again, like, if you meet his character in the first book, is he entertaining? Yes, but he's absolutely a prick. Like, he's such a jerk.
He's terrible. Yes.
He's terrible. And like you're like, he doesn't deserve a happy ending in the first book. But after he's been smacked around
big time. Yes.
By women, fate, and the Grim Reaper. Let's be real about this. Like, the guy, like, everybody came for his throat, okay?
Yes, they did.
Including some divine intervention. And then, like, by the time you get to his book, you're like, okay, you've been smacked enough. Let's do this. I always wanted to do something like that, but I also realized I was like, no. Eloisa James can do what she wants. You can't. So get back in your lane and try to sort this out first, right?
Yes.
So that's what I did. I promptly went back into my lane, and but I was trying to find like ways to like give sort of sneak peeks for people into things that are like dropping, probably not very subtly, just dropping little breadcrumbs into the first one to like sort of lead into other ones. So it's like that, like their writing styles were the most influential, I think.
I love it. Wyoming asked this question earlier. I love this. What is your first book that you remember reading or was read to you?
Oh God. I think it had to be Roald Dahl. No, that's a lie. It was Dr. Seuss.
Oh.
My mom used to read Marvin K. Mooney, Will You Please Go Now? And she had to do it with all the voices because it was important. And the whole time you have Marvin just like, I'm not leaving. And I mean, but it was like all the Dr. Seuss books. So, Marvin K. Mooney, I think that's the first one I remember. Like, that was read to me, was definitely a Dr. Seuss.
I love
it.
it.
The first book that I read on my own was probably a Roald Dahl book.
I love that.
I feel like it was Matilda.
Oh.
Because my sister, my second eldest sister, used to read it to me, and she did the voices too. And my sides would be splitting. Like, I would be laughing so hard. And then, and I think my problem was like when I read the books myself, like I couldn't, like the voices weren't coming in my head, so it didn't feel the same. It wasn't
Yeah.
as interesting as her reading it to me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then after a while, I was like, but I can make the voices in my head. And I was just like, okay, we'll just, not in a non-psych ward way, right? Like I can sort of come up with it myself. And so
Right.
I read, so I think the first one was Matilda, and then it was George's Marvelous Medicine, and then it was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yes.
And
Yes.
just sort of spiral,
Fun. Oh, fun. My sister and I used to read the Twits over and over again. I don't know if you remember that one.
Do you know, I remember I'd never read the Twits. This thing one, it was what my mom had available, okay? Blame her. But like, sorry, Mom, shout out. But like, the ones that we literally had on hand, it was Matilda, it was George's Marvelous Medicine, it was Charlie, and we didn't have the BFG, we didn't have the Twits. We had, I think it was like the Hungry Crocodile was
James
one.
and the Giant Peach?
I think yes. I'm trying to remember. I feel like I saw the movie before I read the book.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, yes, but not in my childhood. But
Gotcha.
I was in middle school. So it was like,
yeah.
Like not the formative ones. The formative ones were Matilda and George and Charlie. Like those were the formative ones.
There you go. Oh, I love it. How fun. Okay, let's do what makes a great story, would you say? I think we've been talking about this kind of the whole time, but if there's anything you want to add, I love it.
I think like, to me, I think a good payoff. I think whether it's drama, whether it's I mean, for historical romance or for romance in general, it has to be a happy ending. But I think in any story, whether it's happy or sad, it has to be earned. Like it has to make sense. Like you have to feel like all that's been building heading in that direction is like, okay, this ending makes sense. It makes sense for this to be an ending point to all of this. I don't have to like it, but it needs to make sense. So like my baby's hair. I mean, and I do this because I feel like it's my absolute duty to do this. You are not going to like the ending. It's going to rip your heart out. Like it's not good.
Oh,
but
no.
Does it feel earned? Yes. Does it make sense? Yes. Because as the characters and their storylines are evolving, you are, by the time you get to, like, even from the beginning, you're looking at it like, this may not go well. Like, this may not end well. And then you see it evolve and you see where they are at the halfway points and you're like, it could go one way, it could go the other way, I'm not sure. And then it keeps going and you can see like the necessity of their choices taking them further apart. And then you're like, maybe something will happen at the end, like maybe it'll be okay. And it isn't. And it's not okay. And that's fine. It's fine that it's not okay, because the fact of the matter is, you knew watching it and paying attention, you were like, but where they end make sense? More or less, yes, it makes sense. So yeah, the ending don't make no sense. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's why it's a stupid ending. But like there are a lot of like Bollywood and like Asian dramas and people will still watch it, right? Like are they happy? If they're unhappy, if they're sad, they will put you in like a depression for like a couple days. Like it's rough. Those endings are rough.
Yes.
But do they make sense for the characters? Do the characters get what do the characters get what they need? Is their journey completed? And the answer a lot of times is yes. You just didn't like it. Right. So to me, I think that's what makes a great story. Like the ending has to satisfy the plot that you've built from the beginning. And if you have high stakes, the stakes have to mean something. I think sometimes you want everything to just be like, I understand that you've been stressed about this the whole time, but at the end it's like, no, but I don't want him to care. Like in one season with you, they're like, nobody wanted Finn to care. Everybody wanted Finn to just be like, it's fine, everything's fine. And I'm just like, Okay, but look at who he is, though. Like, why would it be fine?
Right.
Like, why? Fine? Like, was he acting like a jerk? Sure, but why would it be fine, though? Like, obviously, he has to care a little bit, right? Or else
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense.
Right.
Otherwise, petty care about or being nervous about this doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It has to matter when it hits. It has to matter because
Mm.
she can't be delusional.
Right.
Like, there's a reason, like, she's aware of what's going on, so she has to care. And it has to be a problem, and he has to care. Now, did he have to act like a full fool? Probably not. But, it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, you need to get a reaction. When the crap hits the fan, it has to match the level of the intensity, or else it just feels like, it's like a flan in a cupboard. It just collapsed, and you're just like, great.
Yeah.
So all of this, we spent like 80% of this book worrying about this. None of it mattered. Okay, so I guess we keep going, and it's just like, is that like
really interesting?
in the moment when you're like anxious, in the moment when you're going through the angst, it's like, yes, that would have been a great ending. That would have been amazing. Like, but go back and you'd made this like a movie and you were watching it and nothing mattered. Would that really matter? Would that be a problem? And it's like, yeah, it would just kind of be like, oh, okay. It's like the end, like controversial. It'd be like the end of Game of Thrones. You spend like 7 seasons, right?
Right.
Freaking out about the long night, and it's over in 1 episode. And all the main principal characters still alive.
Yeah.
Nobody died. Nobody bit it. Like, that's the kind of thing where it's just like, no, this has to matter. This has been from first episode stuff. Like, you've spent like 10 years waiting for this thing to happen, and it was over in an episode.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a good idea, right? Like, so that's the kind of thing where you're just like, this needs to be like half the season. Like,
right. Yes.
The long night. How was it over in 24 hours? Like that. I'm like, nighttime's longer in Alaska. Like, what's going on? So, yeah.
Too soon about the Game of Thrones last season. Winter is coming. Oh, it came.
You know what? It's going to be too soon for the rest of my life. It's going to be too soon for the rest of my life. That should be studied. But like just like the general pacing. Like,
yes,
what? Okay.
Yeah.
So to me, like, that's a great story. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I love that. I always ask my authors this, and everybody's answered differently. And every time I feel like I'm just learning more about what makes a great story. It's so awesome. It's awesome. Okay, so we've talked about like your. Oh no, I want to talk about this. What resonates most with your audience so far? Would you say? I know you're still starting out and everything, and but like, what do you feel like? What do you hear the most from your audience about your work?
So I think they like the diverse. They like the diverse casts, I guess. For lack of a better term, they like that. I think they enjoy. I think for the most part, they like the drama. They like I guess like the emotional intensity, because I am dramatic. And I love me some angst. I will angst. Yo, one season with the Duke it's the first iteration of that was angsty as hell. Okay. You think that one was angsty? You have no idea. It was worse.
What?
Worse.
Oh man.
Asian dramas. Bollywood. Trust me. I could have made you cry more. But the story didn't call for it in the end. Like, this iteration, like by the time it got there, like it wasn't needed, right? I just needed to make you cry at the end. So
it's the end.
But like, so I mean, it depends on the book, right? But I think like that kind of thing matters, I think, to people. I think like I try to bring some humor, I try to make people laugh. I feel like, there has to be something in there, like keep them going, like, give them a little carrot, give them a little something.
Yeah.
that normally, I think they like that. I think even when they don't like it, they do like it. Right? Because I had a girl walk up to me at Steamy Lit Con, and she was just like, he had me so mad. I was crying. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. I cannot believe that he did this. I was so pissed off, and I was just looking at her. And she was just like, I was gonna IM you and tell you, and then I said, no, she's gonna be here, so I'm gonna come to her face and tell her that he made me so mad. And I was like, but you liked the book? She's like, it was so good though. I loved it so much. I was like, okay. She was just like, that guy. And I was like, you wanted to punch him a little? She's like, I wanted to punch him a lot. And I was like, fair enough. You know? I mean, I was just like, I know what I wrote. He was annoying. So,
I remember because I read this and I fell in love with him, and you were like, just wait.
Yo, he was getting on my nerves, and I was writing the guy, okay? So, like, when people sort of, like, blew up, I was like, but that's, like, one of the things, right? Because there was, like, people who, like, couldn't necessarily, in the end, they were just like, I just couldn't reconnect with this happy ending because, like, he pissed me off so much, which to me is kind of like, I think I did too good of a job.
I mean, it's like true because you just feel so much for the heroine, and you love her so much, and then the fact that you could, I mean, that's so cool though, honestly. Like you said, you did too good of a job. Like the fact that you could make an audience really be angry at a character.
Yo,
you know, like they're a real person.
Like you want to come for his face. Like it's sort of and it was so funny because like for me, I mean, I have to be equally invested in both. So for me, I was watching it and I was reading it. I was just like, it's so interesting that clearly people were identifying so strongly with Hattie that they were like, no, like be nice to her. Like why can't she have everything she wants? And she didn't do anything wrong her whole life. And I'm just like, yes, she did. You know, like low key. But like, and it was to the point that like her struggle and her pain sort of like eclipsed his entirely. Like nobody cared. Everybody was just like, I don't care about your clan. I don't care about your problems. like be nice to the baby. And it's just like, you know? So, you know, so it's just, it is definitely one of those things where it like, you can, I think sometimes although like I'm not gonna change, like it's gonna keep happening, right? And it's like you're just probably not gonna like this. This guy's probably gonna annoy you. And when I say annoy you, I mean probably drive you crazy. Like that's fine, right? Now we know what I mean when I say just wait. Like it's gonna annoy you, right? It's like emotionally prepare yourself.
Right.
But, like, you know,
you
but
need to sit down.
you know, just like take a drink, it'll be fine. You know, just a cold beverage, a hot beverage, whatever you need. But yeah, you know. But I mean, I think based on those reactions, I think like maybe I kind of write characters in a very visceral sort of way, so that it's like and I think that that's also what people connect with. Like they may not necessarily hold with like the plot per se, and they may have like everybody has opinions about what's reasonable and like what's realistic and like all the rest of that stuff. But like for the most part, people click. Like when it comes to the characters themselves, they're like, nah, like that by I think around 90% of the people who've read the books, you know, whether they enjoyed them or they didn't, like that is one thing that 9 times out of 10 their complaint is like he was mean. And I'm like, so that means that you connected with Hetty, right? So then you were just like, Hetty was perfect. Even his mom, I even liked his mom at the end. Like, what's going on with him? Like, why is he so mean? And I'm just like, his mama raised him. They both mean. Like, what you want? Like, I don't know. So, right? So it's just one of those things.
I love what Kristen says. You did this to me. How dare you? When's the next one coming out?
Exactly. They're like, do you have more? And I'm like, just give me a minute. I'm like, you know. Like,
awesome.
So yeah, you know.
Oh man. Well, okay, so I could talk to you all day, I'm realizing. I don't want to keep you forever. So let's do this. What is on the horizon for you? Obviously, you just released a book.
Yes.
This
So
one.
right
We're so excited.
yeah.
Are you doing any other interviews, like podcasts, anything like book signings, any place that we can?
So right now, if anybody's in Florida, I do or in like the Tampa area, or if you want to do a road trip, I'm doing tomorrow, short notice, tomorrow, Steamy Lit, the Steamy Lit Tampa branch is doing like a
Oh,
grand reopening and I'm signing there.
nice.
Um I'm doing a signing. Hopefully, I still have to turn in the form. So if they still let me, yeah, it'll be okay. It's gonna be in Tarpon Springs, which is sort of like near the Sponge Docks, Greek Central, great food. In Florida, I'm gonna be there. In May, I'm gonna be doing the Boozy Book Tour in North Carolina. So I'm gonna be in Raleigh
Fun.
and getting some books signed. Then yeah, so it's like that kind of thing. I'm gonna be at Steamy Lit in October. There's gonna be there's all kinds of things, but there's another Steamy Lit, there's another Boozy Book Tour in Christ. When is it? It's on my website.
Okay, good, because you know what? You are so good at transitions, Addy. Because I was gonna be like, where can we look for you?
Yeah, I'm like, I
And the
listed it
website
somewhere.
as well.
I'm like, people list, I just don't remember what it is. There's 2 Boozy Book Tours, but I don't remember when the second one is. But I know it's in Orlando and it's on my website. So
Good.
yeah,
Well, we have to go to your website then.
yeah, yeah. But I don't really, I don't really do in like this is like my second like interview that's going to be live for the masses. So
So exciting.
yeah,
I mean,
you
you're
should
amazing.
bring me back for the other 2.
Yes, I should bring you back for the I have to. Yes, I do. I know everybody would love that. I mean, I could, like I said, I could talk to you all day long.
Mhm.
So I'm ready now. I'm ready to do the second one right now.
Right, right, right. It's like we'll give you a refresher in like 2 months when it comes out.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
We could just follow all of your journey, and I'm
yeah,
totally here for
exactly.
it. I
Yeah.
love that. I love it. Oh, Wyoming goes, could you come to New York, please?
So I'm working on it. Like I'm trying to. I sort of set up a rule for myself because I will go everywhere and have no money. So my plan. And so my plan is to not go to any state. Like I'm not doing any cons where either the cost of like house, like lodging, like travel, or the actual expense of attendance. One of those has to be offset.
Okay,
The more the
gotcha.
better.
Yeah.
Luckily for you, Wyoming, I have family in New York. So if there's a con that I can actually like get, if there's a con that I can actually get to, I'll come to
Yeah.
New York.
Oh,
I got no
there you go.
problem. I just have to be aware of them and be aware in time for me to actually like plan something and like the dates have to align. Like the planets have to align. But I am not opposed to coming to New York. I love me some New York.
Yay! I love everybody's like, bring Addy back. Yes,
Yeah.
come back. Okay, so speaking of D, I wanted you to see her comment. Where is it, D? Wait till you see what she said about Gretna Green.
Mm.
Oh, I'm not gonna be able to find it. Oh, I'm so frustrated. Now, look, it's dead air now. Yay. Oh my gosh, it was so cool. She was saying, here it is. I eloped to avoid family drama. We thought of going to Gretna Green, but ended up getting married in Rome.
Ooh. I
Isn't that
mean,
cool?
that is super cool. And when you think about the food that's available,
Yes.
I think Rome was a solid choice. D.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
never been
I
to
love
Rome. I'm working on being able to like I want to go to Italy. I want to go to Rome. I was a history major, hence the geekdom around the history stuff. So Rome was one of the, especially like Roman Republic, Roman Empire, the whole Roman Empire from like the Western to the Eastern. I studied the Byzantine Empire. It was all kinds of stuff. So this, like again, there's a lot of like random facts and information that are in, that are in my head at any given moment.
I love that. I love that. Do you think you would ever write a historical romance set in Rome?
So possibly, I don't know. I was thinking I've been sort of there's been one story that I've had in my head that I have to figure out how I'm going to bring it together and like weave it in. But it was sort of like a, what do you call it? Like a reincarnation concept.
Oh, stop.
So it's like two soulmates like finding each other in like different centuries. And one of them was one of the lifetimes that I literally wrote stuff for. I have no idea how I'm doing this or like how I'm putting it together.
Oh,
But it was supposed to all be one book, so I don't know how that's happening. But
another trilogy.
yo, everybody about to be everywhere. But there was one set not in Rome, but in Roman Britain.
Oh.
Because I did one class, which is I was like, so the King Arthur that I'm sure people have like questions, comments, and concerns about, the one with Keira Knightley and Clive Owen and Ewan Griffith, and it was directed by Anton Fuqua. I think it came out in like 2006 or 7 or something like that. It was fantastic, but it was based on the archaeological record. So it wasn't based on, which they do, so Arthur, it's a Latin name. It's from Artorias, and he was a Roman, and so they believe that if he existed, he was a Roman. He would have been a Roman general, right? And at that time in history, Rome is retracting. It's retracting. It's pulling back to its natural borders because they overextended themselves. The Roman Empire is too much. So they start pulling back because they're getting attacked by Vandals, they're getting attacked by like all the other tribes that are just like, so we want your stuff and we're gonna attack you again. And so they start pulling back their centuries and they're about to leave, and they left Britain. Like that's where they pull back. So like they left England well before the fall of Rome, but it was beginning that oh, we got to pull back because we don't have enough resources, we got to pull back, we need our men here kind of thing. Right. And as they're doing that, you have the the Saxons, which is like, you know, like the Norse peeps, like they're invading from the north. So it ends up being one of those things. So, and that's the time period in which the movie is set. So you have, and Rome pulled centuries, and they pulled soldiers from all over the empire. So there's archaeological evidence of like Sarmatian knights, which are from, I think it's like modern day Iran or something, like around there, like Dalmatia. Like they were from all over, and they were in England. So
get out.
Yeah, they were posted there, and there's evidence. So there's not only evidence of them being there, but there's evidence of like features from their myths showing up in Arthurian legend, which is the paper that I did in school about like so the idea was like about how the paper that I wrote, which my teacher didn't like, but I thought it was brilliant, whatever, was about how the Arthurian legend, sort of the different depictions of Arthurian legend over time, reflected the time period in which it was being written. Because it starts off as one thing, and by the end you have like this King Arthur with, you know, that's based on the archaeological record. Nobody ever thinks of looking at the archaeological record to see what was there and what evidence and what does it look like. And it looks very different from what you start off with in like medieval France, but that's representing, that whole thing is supposed to represent like chivalry and like courtly love, and it's building up the idea of kings, and it's building up all that idea. And then it sort of evolves as you go on. You get further down and you have like Guinevere and Lancelot with their nonsense, but that's more of a Victorian thing. And you're like, okay, like them bringing down the kingdom. I'm like, sure, nobody can have nice things. And then you end up with like the Mist of Avalon, right? Which is a lot more women-centered, right? And now it's not about Arthur and it's not about Guinevere. It's about Morgane, and like, you know, you have like about the women that are running the things sort of behind the scenes in Camelot, and their struggles, right? And that's when you're having, I think that was like the 80s or 90s, right? So you have like the women's movement and you have like all this stuff going on. And now this story is being reinterpreted to represent the people, the zeitgeist at the time. So when you get to like the 2000s and they're doing this new one, it's about getting back to the real, right? So like, what was the original? What's a version of the story that's never been told, right? Everybody's trying to be different. Everybody's trying to like figure out what's going on, and you end up with this story, which is like, okay, so it's there. And which is why I love that one, because history nerd. So then like all that is in there, and I'm just like, this is brilliant. And you have Arthur, who's a Roman. He's given these Sarmatian knights that and he's had a whole squadron, and by the time you get to the movie, most of them are dead because they've been serving there for like, I think it was like 15 years or something.
Oh wow.
The Saxons are invading, Rome is withdrawing, their term of service, their term of indentureship is up, and they're trying to figure out what they're going to do, and the whole world around them is changing at the same time. And so it's like, what do you do? The woads that are there, and Guinevere is played, Keira Knightley plays Guinevere, and she is a Pict, I guess, is what she would be, because she's one of the natives of, it would be Scotland at that point in time, right? So she has like the blue and everything. Like, it's really, really cool. Like, I love that movie, but is it like a perfectly happy ending? No. But I loved it because I was just like, this is a very interesting, it was so new. And it was so like, I was like, this is kind of awesome. And so after I watched that hijacked my whole brain. And so everything I wanted, instead of setting things in like Rome, which is fine, but like, I was like, what about here? Because if I was trying to come up with like people who kept missing their happy ending because they kept making choices that were not conducive to things ending happily, right?
Right.
And I was like, where's a really good place for that to happen? And it would be there, where there's all this turmoil and everybody, or you have all of a sudden you end up with split loyalties, right? It's like, do you work with the invader? Do you leave with the former invader that's now running with its tail between its legs? Do you stick with the native population? And there's so much crap that can be going on at that point in time. I was like, I was going to set it there. So that was the idea that was the idea that I had. But I had like ancient Egypt. I had like Russia during like, what was it? Yeah, it was Russia during like right before the other revolution.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Russia was always starting stuff. It was France during World War II. They were all over the place.
Wow.
But that never went anywhere. I started it and then I was just like, this is hard.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot. And so it was like a bunch of research into all those different time periods and like what is going on, like who's doing what, I think I had one set during like the 30-Year War in Europe, because Europe was always fighting themselves, all these like just constantly hitting itself in the face.
Right.
Like, and a lot of other people know about the 30-Year War, which is like, I was like, yeah, it was a long religious war that was between Catholics and Protestants. You have the St. Bartholomew's Day massacre. Perfect.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm doing all that drama. I don't know when that's gonna happen, but
you know what's so funny? Okay, so we're gonna be talking about you next week. I can tell already, because you know what's this is so crazy that you're talking about this, because there's a book out that's coming out next week by Violet Marsh.
Mm-hmm.
The heroine is literally doing an archaeological dig, and she finds a helmet that her cousin is like, I think this might be King Arthur's. And she's like, we don't even know if he exists. They start talking about so many things that you just mentioned. Yeah. So next week, we're going to be bringing up Addy again.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that's so weird. It's like worlds are colliding. Like, who would have thought?
Right. It's crazy. Right. It's serendipitous.
I love that word. I love that word. Okay. I saw while you were blowing our minds, I saw a bunch of other great comments. You guys see, Paige goes, definitely bring Addy back. You bring such a fun energy to the morning show. Truly, truly. I love it. Terry, who is French Canadian, is wondering if you speak French.
I speak French like a slightly slow 5-year-old. So you tell me, Terry. I've been working. I've been really working hard at that Duolingo. I studied it in school, and I've been working really hard at my Duolingo. So, on peut.
Ooh,
So that's all I got. Yeah.
that sounded pretty good.
Yeah. I'm good at faking it.
You sound like a pro to me. Wow,
That's,
I will.
yeah.
That's the goal, right?
Yeah.
Wyoming says, "I will come see you absolutely in New York." How would I know when you're getting there? Would it be on your website? Probably, I bet.
Oh yeah. If I was able to figure that out, I would have to be planning like far ahead. So yeah, I would post it
It wouldn't
there.
be like next week and she would miss it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you would know far out.
yeah. Yeah.
They'd post someone in Germany and Spain and so on, so that Germans wouldn't be pacifying their own people on behalf of the Romans.
Because the last time they tried that in Rome during the reign of Caesar Augustus, it didn't work. And the guy ended up learning everything about Romans. And then he went back to his people and he was just like, guys, I know how to defeat them. And that's how Caesar Augustus lost, like, I think it was like 2 legions in I think it was the Bavarian Forest, the Black Forest. People, like, they got tore up. And literally none of them survived. And what was creepy is that so they got ahead of them, and so they destroyed the first legion, and then the second legion hadn't come yet. So by the time they showed up, they literally arrived, and they were walking through a graveyard of like all of their comrades, and they were like, this is the wrong way to go. This is a horrible idea. And then they got slaughtered to a man. So it was like, yeah, that's when they started to adjust their approach, because if you have Germans trying to pacify Germans could switch sides, and then they know how to talk to them. They know how to, yeah.
Wow.
Sorry.
No, I love it. I love it. I love learning new things, and I love getting into the history.
Yeah.
This is so fun.
It's wild stuff going on. It's wild stuff going on in history. This is why I'm like, anytime that people are like, history's boring, I'm like, you had a bad history teacher, clearly.
Right?
Like, seriously. Because if you have a bad history teacher, you have no idea. I'm just like, no, how does the most powerful empire in the world lose? Because that's why Rome lasted as long as it did. They make their mistakes, and then they adapt, and they start like evolving and figuring out. Like, that was a hard mistake. That was a hard lesson to learn, but they didn't make that mistake again. They figured out. They were like, don't do that again.
Right.
That's somebody else. Yeah.
I don't know what she is saying. That's the something at the something. I'm not going to say it.
I think she's talking about what I just. You see how all of this is in German? I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
I don't know how to say
I'm sure
it.
You're right. I don't want to ruin it. I'm not going to try to say it because it's going to sound terrible. But that's fascinating.
Verschlacht?
That sounds good.
Is that it?
That sounds yeah. She'll
Let's
tell
go
me.
with that. At Tutaburger.
Yeah, that sounded good too.
Tutaburgerwald. Yeah.
I love it. You're just going to speak all the languages this morning, and we're here for it.
You got two. You got three. You got three for the price of one. That's how we roll here. Hey, discount.
I love it. I love it so much. Oh, gosh. Addy, I could geek history with you all day long. I know. Me too. You're so cute. I love it. Okay. But did I miss Shannon saying that too? You're an absolute delight. I wish we could chat with you all day. Truly, truly. I love Addy to be my history teacher, right? So many fun tidbits. Sorry about that. I'm a German archaeology student.
That's how she knew. Yeah. I don't know what the word means in German, but it probably is that day we kicked the Romans' butts. Right? And they literally did not see it coming. They were like,
that's so cool. Varus was the general, so it's named after him.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, and so like there's this thing where they're talking about like Caesar Augustus, and he's like, Varus, bring me back my legions.
Right?
Varus, that's it. Yep.
Get out. Shruggy emoticon.
You know what's funny about that? I'm not as strong on US history, especially like because like they had me studying like across the waters. So I didn't, because it was mostly like ancient history that they were looking at.
Yeah.
So I'm not as, so you could probably teach me a thing or two. I mean, there's certain things that I'm aware of, like, but I had to like that was after the fact where I'm just like looking at all these
Yeah.
what are they called? Documentaries, like trying to figure out what's happening. So
Yeah.
but yeah,
Oh, I love
that's
it.
stuff. Just randomness all over the place.
I love it. I love it. Okay. All right. We definitely have to have you back.
Yes,
Several more times at least. Okay.
I'm
And I've
cool.
kept you like did I even say, I think I even said, I was like, I'm not going to keep you overtime. And I've kept you like more than half an hour overtime. I'm so sorry. I'm
It's
so
my
sorry.
own fault.
This was so much fun. So much fun. Okay, so I will let you go. I know everybody's gonna be wanting to say goodbye. Is there anything that you want to say that we didn't give you a chance to say? Like, I know we're gonna look at your website. We're excited about the release.
Yeah.
I have your links in on my description box, like
Yeah.
Instagram, all the good stuff. Anything else?
No, just I mean, leave reviews, rate and review. As always,
Yes.
just to feed the algorithm gods so they know to, to not hide my stuff in a basement, that, that kind of stuff, and just,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. And also you guys can reach out. Like you don't need to be, Beanos. Like you don't need to be a stranger. Like you can
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm not like big news anyway. So like it's fine. Like I have time and I can respond to you. So like,
Yeah.
if you email me and you're just like, I have questions about blah 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 blah, I'm probably gonna respond to you. Like
Like, I'm so mad at him.
I'll be like, fair enough. Like I was I mean, which is I mean it's like I don't take it personally. I'm just like,
Yeah.
yo, I'm like
That
I
just
wrote
means
him. I know
you
what
did
he's
a good
like.
job. That's why.
Yeah.
You know what you should do? You should have someone dressed as him at one of your book signings and then be like, "We'll talk to him. There he is."
Yeah. I'm like, tell him to explain himself, have to find some tall ginger who's not afraid of being abused by the general public.
Yes. Yes.
That's what I
Like,
would
you don't
do.
know what you got yourself into, but here
And he's just gonna be looking at you just like, yo, like they're really angry. And I'm like, they feel passionately,
they
you know,
do. They do. They do.
you know.
Oh, Prince Harry, there you go.
See, the problem with Prince Harry is he's a Virgo like me, so after a while he starts snapping back. as we've been witnessing over the past few years. You
Yes.
take it up to a certain point, and once we've reached that point, I'm like, it's just full on, just like you're gonna get what you get. And we don't really, and we're not even gonna feel bad about
Yeah.
about what you get, because it's just like you've been trying my patience for a minute.
Yeah.
And that's how you end up on the ground feeling bad about yourself. Like you didn't have to be here. We didn't have to be here. We made choices.
Oh my gosh, Addy, you're the best. Oh, you're just the best. Oh my gosh. All right. I'm really gonna let you go now.
Okay, fair enough.
This was lovely. You're amazing. And I cannot wait to dive in to, let me throw it up there one more time. Miss Thornfield's Daring Bargain.
Absolutely.
First of the Troublemakers trilogy, with the next two coming out. That's right. This year.
This year, baby.
Yeah. Cannot wait. All right. Okay. I'm going to let you go and we'll see you later. Have a great weekend.
You too. Absolutely. Happy reading, guys.
Happy reading. Bye. Bye. Oh my gosh. Is she just the best? We have got to have her on like all the time. Right? Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Nope. Took the wrong person away. Let me do this. Boom. That's too big. Wasn't she amazing? I know. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, yeah. Best history lesson ever. She's fantastic. She is. Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it. Okie dokie, guys. So it's already 11:07. I can't believe it. That was so much fun. But we can do some sprints this morning. And then today we're going to be celebrating Mary Balogh's birthday, because her birthday is right around the corner. I need to double check and see which day it actually is. But the other thing we can do too is talk a little bit more about the medieval, it's Medieval March, and the Wanton Wallflowers Facebook group is doing a super fun live reading event with me next Tuesday. I know we started talking about that already this week, but we'll be doing more of that. You know what I'm going to do right now? I'm going to create a quiz just like I did the other day with Hannah. And you can tell me in the live right now, we'll do a poll and let me know whether you would prefer to do, when we come back from sprints, we can either focus on medieval books and recs and talking about the live next week, or we can talk more about Mary Balogh. So let's see, next session. And then I'll give us 2 options. We'll do Mary Balogh. What do we want to spend most of our time on? Or Medieval March. And we'll go from there. We'll do whatever you guys want. And let's see here. So I'm going to publish this. I'm going to copy the link. I'll even show you live what we decided on. Oh my gosh, Deborah! Just sliding into my seat like I'm not late. Hey, Deborah. Deborah, you've got to see this later. This was one of the most fun lives I think we've ever had. You've got to come back or check later. What words? Where are the words? I lost them all. Watch the recap is what I'm trying to say. Can we skip the sprints? Maybe we could do like little sprint, just a little. So I can let my dogs out real quick. Yes. Oh, I know. Definitely going to be reading Addy DuLac. Oh, wait. Did she say it was? Well, never mind. I'll look at the beginning because I don't want to mispronounce her last name. I know I'm going to say it wrong. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Terry. Just a little sprint. Okay. So here is the link. This will also give me a chance to prepare whatever you guys want to focus on. So go ahead and click on that. And then you can vote. I don't have any responses yet. What do we want to see? Do we want to do some Mary Balogh or do we want to do some Medieval March? So feel free to click it. Oh yeah, Deborah, you have to watch it. It's so good. Addy DuLac. I don't want to say her name wrong. Addy DuLac or Addy DuLac. I think it's probably DuLac. She's amazing. She's amazing. This was the book that she has, by the way, that's coming out. So yeah. Oh, you're going to love it, Deborah. You're going to love it. You're going to love the interview. Okay. Let's see. Do we have any votes yet? Oh, wow. Okay. Let me share the screen with you so you guys can see what's going on here. We've got 3/4 of us are more excited about Medieval March than Mary Balogh. I mean, just in terms of, that sounds really mean. Mary Balogh, we love you. But yeah, so maybe we'll just do some Medieval March prep after. Yeah. Okay. We're getting some more responses here. And in the chat, whoever tells me that whatever number of minutes for our sprint, I will go with that first. Whatever you guys think. How many minutes should our sprint be this morning? Because the morning is getting away from us, but for a very, very happy, fun reason. Let's see here. Kristen, I blame Shrek for not knowing how to say her name. Thank you. 20? That's 9 minutes, Terry. 9-minute sprint. All right. I mean, well, let's do this. Can we just do a 15-minute sprint? Let's do that. Let's give me just a second. Okay. I'm going to start it. Yeah, because I don't know if we'll have time. I want to make sure I've got my medieval stuff together. 20 minutes, a little sprint. It is. We'll just till 25. All right, we'll do 15. We'll do 15. Let me run the okay. So here we go. Remove. Oh, why is it always so big? And then we're going to. Nope, that's not it. For Pete's sake, guys, I tell you. Oh, so I removed that. Okay, now I've got it. Okay. I tell you what. It's this one thing of sharing a screen. Here we are. We're going to be on the 4-leaf clover fields again. We're gonna choose our person. I'm going with number 1 with the star hat. We're going for 15 minutes. We're gonna be coming back, and we're gonna be talking about medieval March, which I will be preparing during this 15 minutes as I take my dogs out and everything. So, yeah, this has been such a fun morning, and let's get moving. Let us know in the comments, which clover are you going to be watering? Mm. Hooray! Hope I didn't scare anyone with my voice. It occurred to me this is the one that doesn't say anything when it's done. And I once was reading do you remember? I was reading and people had to, I think Tara finally unmuted. She was like, hey. So number 3, Paige. Paige got it, and so did Dee. Well done, ladies. You've gone into the weekend already winning. So good for you. At last I won something. I noticed that Sock made her vote known a little bit closer to the end. That may have been strategic on Sock's part. I don't know. Maybe she just forgot to type it, but kind of brilliant. Kind of brilliant. Yay, Paige. All right, ladies. Awesome. All right. And now we're dealing with exactly probably what Terry didn't want to deal with, which is we only have like 15 minutes left. But man, has this been a fun morning. I adored Addy DuLac. DuLac. I'm going to watch the beginning of this video later and see how she pronounced it because I'm going to second guess myself. Wasn't that strategic? I lost. But that one did look like it was close though, didn't it? It did. Strategically lost. Oh man. But I could tell I was going to like Addy immediately. Not that I've ever disliked anybody, but the moment I came on, and then that's why we were so late because we were just chit-chatting, just having a great time. And I'm like, let's go ahead and go live. And then it just kept going. It was great. It was great. So I'm really looking forward to having her back. She's going to be awesome. And I love the history lessons too. So let's talk about medieval March, which I'm really, really excited about. Oh my gosh, guys, I've got some really super fun things to share. It was a good strategy though. See? It's a good strategy. You were almost there. You and me, Sock, actually, because I was also one. But anywho, so let me just, because I made this and I don't think I've deleted it. Oh yeah, it's still here. Here is another viewing of the trailer, if you will, to what's going to be happening next Tuesday night. Here we go. Yay. Oh, that's so much fun. By the way, a little bit of behind the scenes, that gal that turns her head and it says, you decide, and she's her bare shoulders. I had to cut a little extra off of that when I was designing that part because she's wearing a leopard print dress. I was like, leopard print. Don't know if that fits in medieval. So thank you so much. Thank you guys. This is one of those things where it's like, oh my gosh, I would love to be an author assistant because that was my first hand at ever making anything like that. And it was so much fun. I feel like I learned a ton. So, anywho, so much fun. And but that's enough about me. Let's talk a little bit more about this event. It's going to be incredible. Giovanna Siniscalchi and Nikki Pascarella have been working tirelessly to make this thing amazing. I got to read the preliminary story yesterday that we're going to be I'm going to be reading it alone or we're all going to be reading it. I think we're going to be taking turns reading it around the campfire. I'm going to have a campfire going. I'm just so excited. And the story is going to be incredible before we vote and decide what we're going to do for the ending. It's going to be really, really neat. There have been authors that have stepped up to give some books. There's going to be an actual giveaway that people can enter. And okay, let me show you. Oh, I'm so excited, guys. Seriously, this is going to be so amazing. I just had a chance to make these slides because there are still more giveaways coming forward. And this is what we know so far. And this is just what we've done. This has been less than a week that we've created this. So I can't wait to see if we were ever to do this again, how amazing this could become. Because I mean, we've never done this before. We've never worked together before, the three of us, me and Nikki and Gio, as she's called, Giovanna. And it's just all coming together so quickly. I'm just really, really excited. So here's a look at some of the books that are already being announced as part of the giveaway for this event. So if you come to the live show next Tuesday, there is a giveaway. There are more, as I just mentioned, there are going to be more books as well. I need a campfire. I know. We're going to have a campfire. I know it's going to be so fun. I'm really, really excited. Here's one of the books that's part of the giveaway. Steffi Smith, who's a good friend of Gio and Nikki. It's called Her Viking Savior. And I know right now, Terry, tell us who that model is. I'm sure she could tell us. I've seen him before. We also have, see, I knew it, Terry, with Foster on the cover. I knew you could tell me. Tell me this one, Terry. The Bonniest Lass in Scotland, Highland Hearts Book 1. That's going to be, yeah, there it is. I knew you would know. I knew you would know. So this is another one that's going to be part of the giveaway. And another one, Highland Heartbreaker. I don't know who this one is. And I don't know. Do you know this one, Terry? The model? This is Highland Hearts Book 2. Wait, is this one Highland Hearts? Okay, that's a separate one. But yeah, those are going to be part of the giveaway. Don't know. Yeah, I didn't know either. I didn't think I had seen his face. So maybe he's an up and comer. But all of these are up for grabs as part of the giveaway, as well as, are you guys ready? This is so exciting. I had to double check and make sure that I was allowed to show this, which was another reason I really wanted to make sure I could do a sprint and ask the girls. I just asked them during the sprint, like, am I allowed to talk about this? This is a book all night long. This is what Gio has just written this week. Nikki and I have both had a chance to read it. It's insanely good. You're going to love it. This is the Wanton Wallflower Adventure. This is going to be the story that we're reading on Tuesday. And if you come to the live, you get a link to this ebook. Everyone will get a copy of this after the show. So you get to have your own gorgeous copy. And isn't he so yummy? And I love her. And you may be wondering a little bit about the time period discrepancy between our knight and our maiden, and all will be revealed. Oh, you're just going to be so happy. You're going to be so happy. I need to add right. Let's do it. I know. It's just breathtaking. And everybody who comes to the live will get their own copy. E-copy. So, oh my gosh, maybe it could be. We'll see. So yeah, we're gonna have so much fun on Tuesday. But yeah, so tell me in the comments, how many of you have read Medieval, and are you excited about Medieval? I didn't know until recently that there is such a thing as Medieval March, where people get around and not get around, get around the campfire. I'm like making things up, and they read medieval books on purpose. Wow, words! Wow, what were the words that I wish I had said? But yeah, I love the idea of doing Medieval March every March, quite frankly. And I'm so thankful that we were able to fit this in on a Tuesday, because apparently the Wanton Wallflowers, which is the Facebook group, they do new stories on Tuesdays. So Gio and I were like, okay, When can we do this? Okay, next Tuesday. It's the last Tuesday in March. So it's just coming together beautifully. Yes. Oh, I'm so glad. Same here. I have not read enough medieval at all, not even remotely. I've read a lot of Highlander novels set in medieval around the time of Robert the Bruce when he came onto the throne of Scotland. There you go. Interesting. Yeah, I feel like in my brain I've read a lot of medieval, but do you know what that actually is? It's Grace Draven fantasy that feels medieval to me. So I can just about everything in my brain that I come up with, like, oh, I've read this medieval or that, it's all Grace Draven. In fact, was it Kristen the other day who had been reading Radiance? This has medieval vibes. And oh my gosh, I love it so much. The whole Wraith King series by Grace Draven, adore. But it's set in a separate land, so it's not technically medieval, I'm sure. But it definitely has that vibe. Yeah, I want to read medieval. So we need to do that. We need to make that a thing. Like maybe next March we can be, all about medieval. The Highland Guard by Monica McCarty. Oh, is that a good one? Oh, Catherine Levesque. Yes. And I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe she might be another one that's going to be participating in the giveaway by giving away one of her books. It's not confirmed, so I'm not sure. But, it's coming. We're going to find out all things certainly by next Tuesday. So I just can't get over how beautifully this has come together in such a short period of time. So, yeah, I'm just really excited about all these books. The giveaway, I mean, it's just going to be so fun. Why is it so big? Yeah, but we're all going to come on live next Tuesday. And Gio and Nikki are going to be with me. We're going to have the campfire up. We'll be talking about medieval history. We were even debating about doing recommendation, not a video, but doing recs as well, which I think would be really fun. But yeah, we're going to have a whole order of events that we're trying to figure out what to do. Yeah, I'm just working on that and just sort of finalizing everything. As you can see, my brain is going. I love what Kristen said earlier when we were going live. She goes, "How many tabs are open this morning?" A lot of tabs, Kristen. A lot. But I'm still thrilled that I said yes to Nikki and Gio because this is going to be incredible. So, okay. We have 5 minutes left. Let's talk about what we're doing this weekend. What do you guys have planned? What are you going to be reading? We have the Owen Sock. If you ever want to if you have anything to plug, go for it. Or anyone really who wants to plug something. On Sunday at 4:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Tara and I are doing our Tea and Biscuits book club show, all about. Oh, I didn't bring it upstairs. Rats. Amy Rose Bennett's Up All Night with a Good Duke. And Amy Rose Bennett, she's got a lot of irons in the fire right now. She and I did have a conversation, but she's not able to come on live. There was a chance she might do some videos for us, just talking a little bit about the book from her perspective. I don't know if it's going to come through, though, because she's really, really busy right now. So I'm not pressuring her, but we'll see if that happens. Tara is live Sunday morning. Thank you, Terry. Tara is also live Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. What is that? I forget. Oh my gosh, words. EDT. What does EDT stand for? I'm really embarrassed. Eastern Daylight Time. Okay. Well, there we are. Looked it up. Daylight savings. Oh. Oh. Daylight savings time? Uh-huh. I know that some people in Europe are going to be doing daylight savings time. Is that Canada as well? Getting out my reading slump and just doing some book journaling this weekend. That sounds great, Paige. I love that. I love that. I'm going to be reading. Oh my gosh, guys. I'm almost done. Well, I've got 20% left. I'm going to be finishing this. It's so good. I'm so thankful my members voted for this because this was one of the ones where Gabriel really went far in our book boyfriend bracket. And so I asked my members, I took like 4 people that I didn't know of in the book bracket that really made it far. And I said, which one should I read? And this is the one they picked. And I'm so glad because I'm loving Gabriel Marquis of Ralston. He is yummy, yummy, delicious as a rake. He's fantastic. So loving this book. Also, I'm going to be reading more of Our Dear Miss H is on the Case. I'm having so much fun with this. And it was so crazy how Addy LeDuc, who I'm going to say that's her name for now, her last name, this is so incredible. The fact that our heroine is right now on the lookout for the whereabouts of the helmet that she dug up that they believe could very well be potentially belonging to King Arthur. And also they are debating about whether he was a real person. But it's just so funny how so much of what Addy was talking about has to do with the plot of this book right now. It's really fun and funny. And Violet Marsh is going to be on our show live next Tuesday. So in a week in the morning. There's so much going on Tuesday. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And then I'm also reading more of Lucia de Misa's The Desert of Bleeding Sand, which she was on my channel several months ago. We did the cover reveal. We talked about her YA fantasy. It's part of Darken Press, which is owned by Stacey Reed. Many of you know her as an incredible historical romance author. So really excited. She might be coming on our show next Friday or next Thursday, actually. So next Thursday is going to be our second show of the week, because the 28th Friday, actually, I'm going to be out of town. So we'll be doing Tuesday and Thursday, the 25th and the 27th next week. Let's see what all we've got that's going on with our friends here. Sock says, I'm hoping to have the first dive in or drop out video up on Sunday morning. Oh, great. I'm reading the first book of 6 different series by Christine Feehan to see if I want to dive into each series or nah. Looking forward to that, Sock. Canada follows the same time as the USA. Okay, so you guys already had your time change. I have 9 rules out. Oh, great. I don't know if I'll manage to get it in this weekend. Okay. Yeah, you're going to love it, Sock. You're really going to love it. The Trilogy of the Family of St. John is great. Ooh, nice. Silly is going to the spa on Saturday. Oh, getting a blueberry facial. Yes, it's a thing for doggies. Oh my gosh, I love it. That sounds so fun. You're going to be in your YouTube space all Tuesday. I know. By the end of Tuesday night, I'll be like, where are the words? Thank heavens Gio's literally written them for me. And then let's see. Imagine a very soft, soothing barkity barkity bark. Barkity bark bark. Sorry. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. I would like to go get a blueberry facial. That sounds great. Love it so much. I mean, now that Sock is not Sock. Oh my gosh, words. Now that Silly is a model, I mean, she's got to be, doing the facials and things like that. So I love it. Deborah says, my TBR is exploding, y'all. Oh my gosh. Right? So true. So true. Absolutely. I can't believe it's already time to go. I have a birthday party right after school that I get to go to with my daughter. It's going to be 4 and 5-year-olds that are going to have lots of energy. So going to miss you all desperately. Like 30 minutes during the birthday party. Yeah. And then hopefully lots of reading and good stuff. It's hopefully getting warm soon and we'll be looking forward to that. But I have to say, before I turn the page completely on winter, I have had one of the most fun winters I've ever had. And it's thanks to you guys. Seriously, I know nobody's going to like me saying this, but I'm almost going to miss winter because I've just had so much fun this past winter with you all. So I know everybody's like, don't talk about that. Don't talk about, I know the birthday party. I know. Birthday parties. Oh, so many birthday parties. Yeah. Anywho. Well, I do have to run, sadly. Sock barkity. She's talking back to Sock. I love it. Have a great weekend. Enjoy, hopefully, some nice weather. or some good reading. We'll come back on Tuesday. I want to know what you guys were up to. Also, I look forward to hopefully seeing you guys on Sunday. It's going to be a very interesting live book club. I'll tell you that. It's going to be good. I can't wait to see Tara too. Bye, Kristen. Bye, Dee. All right, guys. I better stop talking and just go as much as I don't want to. We'll see you next time.